Numbers, I don't know what it is about numbers that grab hold of us from the time we're young. Maybe it's because our parents make us memorize numbers. My telephone number growing up in Long Beach was GE01202. Geneva is what the GE stood for. I mean, there were the Zenith and the HEs, whatever HE stood for, I don't remember anymore. But we lived in GE01202. I suspect you could still call it 430122 and see if I'm there. I remember the number for the church was GE95955. Address for the church still is 1901 Palo Verde in Long Beach. Address for my house was 7035 Stern Street in Long Beach. Numbers, they grab us. I don't remember the number of my first apartment on 4th Street or the number of my first apartment on Eximino. I do remember my number of my apartment that I lived in for a long time in Belmont Shore. It was 69.5 Nieto. I remember the number of my apartment that I liked so much where I lived when Debbie and I got married in Huntington Beach. It was a fourplex, 915 Alabama. Numbers, they get ingrained in us. I've been passed by 15 runners today, all of them with a watch on or something. I could tell all of them when they saw me. One of them was a team of runners. They were watching their numbers, but they had something even better than numbers when they were behind me, because I'm a slow runner, at least I am now, and they were coming up and they could catch me and pass me. And even better than numbers is having a goal in your mind, but sometimes it takes numbers to help you get to that goal. What are your numbers today? Do you know them? The numbers for your weight, the numbers for where you're going to measure success, the numbers for your family, the numbers that you need to meet your financial challenges this week, the numbers that you need to be able to meet the financial challenges of the good things that you support with your life. Do you know what your numbers are? I think one of the reasons we're taught to remember numbers because our phone number helps us to reach out and call home. Our address helps us to know where we're supposed to go, and if we get lost, we can tell someone how to get us there. And the numbers while running, well, they allow us to measure ourselves. So we can see if we're actually getting better or not. Our numbers on the scale allow us again to measure ourselves to see whether we're gaining or losing. I think too often what we do is we avoid numbers and we avoid working with them. And I think each one of us needs to come to the terms with what our numbers are. Apparently I'm bothering a dog now. And when we come to grips with what our numbers are, we can go ahead and we can say, okay, now I've got a goal to shoot for. So today what I would encourage you to do is pick some numbers. You don't have to pick them randomly. I'm guessing you know your address. I'm guessing you know your phone. Well, actually, phone numbers are mostly programmed into our phones now, so we've forgotten our numbers. But pick those numbers that are essential to your family life, and then start taking a measurement of them. Start tracking yourself and saying, where do I stand? Because the most important thing in your life is not a number. Far from it. It's a tragedy when people turn their spiritual life into numerology and into numbers. Because really your spiritual life, that's why we say it's a relationship. It's not meant to be about numbers, but you see the numbers speak to something deep inside of us. They speak to our head, they speak to our logic, they speak to that which thinks critically. But our relationship addresses that which is at the core of our being. And when we allow ourselves to speak to our relationship, then we have the opportunity to move closer, to grow, to be able to be the person that we want to be, whether that's, in a relationship with God, relationship with our spouse, relationship with our friends, whoever it is. It allows us to be able to build on that. And to do that, sometimes we need to know the number of the phone to call, the number of the address to go to, the number of what our finances are going to take. Imagine going to a restaurant, ordering dinner, looking at the menu with the numbers at the end of it that tell you how much something's going to cost, but not looking in your wallet and seeing if you have enough credit on your credit card, enough money on your debit card, or enough cash in your pocket to be able to pay the bill. Pretty embarrassing when you come time for the bill to be paid and you're not ready and you fall short. None of us want to get to a spot near the end of our life and we're not ready and we fall short just because we weren't tracking the simple things, like our numbers, that allow us to get to the more important things, like our relationships. I often say about Debbie that there's not another woman on the planet Earth that could have afforded me except for Debbie. Now, there were lots of people on the planet Earth, way more money than Debbie, but she's been willing to tolerate who I am as a human being, which has been an expensive gesture on her part. To be able to stay with me, to be able to go through all my transitions, my changes in life, and to continue to love me through it all. It's based on a relationship. More dogs behind more big fences. Anyway, track your numbers today, track your relationships today, because that's how we get to be a miracle. Whether it's in your running and you're saying, well, I'm going to do this half mile and this fast, I'm going to do this mile and this speed. Whether it's in your home, because I'm going to know I'm going to get to my address this way. Whether it's with your phone, whether it's with your finances, so that you can focus on what's really important, and that's your relationships, which have very little to do with numbers. It's about the greatest thing that we ever expend. That's our heart, our life, our spirit, our soul. Have a great day. Be the miracle in everything you say and do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing.